I literally did not want to come to the internet, and I'm just tired of saving face for this man. Every time I come on the internet, people are bashing me because of this man. And the reason he was paying me off is so I won't come to the world and tell everybody.
You guys have to believe me, I really wasn't going to make a video about this, but then I got a comment on my Kevin Durant video requesting this particular upload. So I figured I'd make a short on it, or a TikTok on it, or a reel on it, depending on what platform you're on. And I did do that, and I posted it onto YouTube/Instagram/TikTok. And then I realized that didn't really do the situation much justice. So here I am, making another video on it. Before we get to the content, we announced 5 subscribers who turned on my notifications on this channel to split $1,000. The winners were announced on my community tab, so go check it out and maybe you won. We're gonna run this giveaway back, so no need to fret if you didn't win. I'm very much motivated to give away money to you guys. Now that we got all that out of the way, cue the intro. Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? Zion Williamson has always had a really interesting life off of the court, one that I initially didn't pay much attention to. I mean, there was this one instance where a woman tried exposing Zion Williamson on FaceTime when he was in college.
Why are you so beautiful?
I'm not. Oh my God, stop.
And to be honest, I didn't really see this as much of a big deal. Zion was just trying to get his in. He's a college student, for crying out loud. At least he was back then. To be honest, I don't really like getting involved in the personal lives of athletes, unless if it's something that is pretty insane, and I believe this story qualifies as such. So about a month ago, Zion Williamson announced with his partner, I suppose, that he is having a child with a woman by the name of Concrete Rose. They threw this beautiful gender reveal, which I have no idea why Zion Williamson decided to draw attention to this situation, because Zion Williamson essentially struck 2 sticks together and created a little bit of a spark when he said this.
I don't know what the future holds, but mommy and daddy love you. You don't know nothing else in this world. Know that mommy and daddy love you.
Now, that's why I'm saying I don't understand why he decided to record this gender reveal and post it onto social media, because 1, that's very interesting language, and 2, this started a huge war between another woman by the name of Mariah Mills and Zion Williamson. And I gotta admit, this was fairly comical. Mariah Mills is an adult film actress, by the way, and we'll just leave it at that. And she started by saying, "You better pray I'm not pregnant too, because I'm definitely late." Keep that in mind, because that's going to be a little bit important later. I was with you last week in New Orleans, and you couldn't tell me you had a random thought pregnant after all I've done for you. I warned you about trapping type hoes at Zion Williamson, and you didn't listen to me. I know the game. F you and congrats again. Bill was too high, so you had to scrap for crumbs when you couldn't see me or I was busy. Pretty much Mariah Mills was frustrated that she lost the Hoe Olympics to a stripper by the name of Concrete Rose. And I guess in that type of culture, when you're a cloud-hungry hoe who lives to trap bottles of Don Julio 1942 and Clase Azul at the club, then try to do something legitimate with your life. Like, I don't know, becoming a real estate agent, but once that fails, you decide to trap instead. And then attempt to get a Lil Aiden by a NBA superstar and set yourself up for life. But the tweets would get more and more extreme, eventually leading to Mariah Mills exposing text messages between herself and Zion Williamson. And the sad thing is, these text messages quite literally show Zion Williamson begging with Mariah Mills to delete her tweets, with Mariah Mills doing middle school level manipulation, saying,
"I hate this. I'm really upset."
Zion would respond saying, "So why are you posting all this on social media? Delete that stuff." Zion, I wonder why. It's not like her tweets are getting over 1 million views per tweet at this point. But of course, Mariah Mills continues with her masterclass in gaslighting, saying, "Because you kissed sister. That's your girlfriend. You lied to me. They will go back and forth with Zion begging her to delete the messages and Mariah Mills responding pretty much no because you hurt my feelings or whatever. And eventually, once Zion Williamson realized that the thing he should do is not engage with the enemy, she decided to expose the amount of money that Zion Williamson was paying her, which, oh my goodness. Mariah Mills was quite literally getting paid about $1 million a year just to be Zion Williamson's side chick. It honestly causes me so much pain to see this. And it's honestly kind of evil when you consider the age difference between Mariah Mills and Zion Williamson. I mean, Mariah Mills is turning 32 in about 3 months from now. Zion Williamson's 23. Of course, Zion got himself into this situation and my man clearly got a type, but if there's one thing you should learn from this situation is once you become rich and famous and as successful to the scale that Zion Williamson is, where you sign a contract that is worth nearly $200 million, there's a huge target on your back. That's why I never understood why rich people who don't need to flex their wealth would go out and flex their wealth, because you're creating a target on your back for clout demons like Mariah Mills that don't actually love you for who you are. They love you for what you bring to the table, and they throw little tantrums when they lose their opportunity. Now, up until this point, you guys might be familiar with this situation, and you might be wondering, Mike, why the hell are you making a video on this once again? Well, the next part is a little bit more important to me, and I honestly think this could be very damaging for women around the world, by the way, because I've covered a situation very similar to this on microphone, the Matt Ariza situation, which I initially botched, by the way, because I actually believed the initial report about Matt Ariza potentially allegedly assaulting a minor whenever he was in college, and I got that wrong. Now, in this case, when Mariah Mills noticed that her attempts at sucking clout out of Zion Williamson were failing, she resorted to more extreme measures, which we didn't really cover on this channel. The first being that she posted a positive pregnancy test after her alleged Zion fling. She would do crazier things like fake getting Zion Williamson's name tattooed on her face in the name of clout. This isn't a real tattoo, by the way. Eventually, Twitter had enough and decided to suspend her account. But just because you deplatformed Mariah Mills on Twitter doesn't mean that she can't go to another platform and still continue her manifest destiny of sucking as much clout from this situation as humanly possible. And I think this is where it took a really disturbing turn for me, because Mariah Mills' next allegation against Zion really upsets me. Check it out.
You guys, I literally did not want to come to the internet, and I'm just tired of saving face for this man that's completely disrespecting me to the world, and I literally have to take this. Every time I come on the internet, people are bashing me because of this man, literally, and I'm tired of it. He knows, he said he's gonna send me $62,000. I have yet to receive that since June. I'm literally here, like, he's literally a liar. You guys, everything he says, he's a liar. He's not who he says he is. I literally been saving face. I did not want to come to the world and let you guys know what he has been doing to me my entire relationship with him. He is a woman beater, and the NBA needs to know this. I literally did not want to come to this because I know he has so many endorsements. But Zion Williamson is a woman beater. And the reason he was paying me off is so I won't come to the world and tell everybody.
Okay, first things first, I'm going to open this up by saying I'm a little sensitive to this situation. I've covered stories like this before. There are times where I've gotten these situations completely incorrect. The basis of my take here is whenever a woman is alleging such a thing, it's a very serious thing to allege. And there have been times, unfortunately, where women have lied about this situation, like in the case of Matt Ariza, which we covered on my Microphone Football channel. A once-in-a-generation type punter was cut by the team that drafted him even before he was able to play for this team based upon an allegation that a young girl made against him alleging SA. And eventually, after reviewing all of the footage that they had on hand, they were able to determine that this woman was lying. And luckily, in the case of Matt Ariza, he seems to be on his way to getting another chance in the NFL. But some players aren't as lucky, like say Sean Oakman, for instance. His situation was so bad that he went undrafted in the NFL. And very shortly after, once again, they found out that what he was accused of was not true. Currently, we're covering the case of Michael Irvin on my Microphone Football channel, where he is on camera and there is an employee of the hotel that he was staying at alleging that he made uncomfortable advances towards her. And as a result, Michael Irvin currently isn't on ESPN and currently isn't featured on the NFL Network. Now, are all of these allegations untrue? No, that's ridiculous. And I do not want to suggest anything of the sort. But based upon the trajectory of this storyline, based upon how Mariah Mills was saying that she was pregnant at first, and then she fake tattooed Zion's name on her face, and now she's alleging that Zion laid a hand on her, this has gone too far. And I guess I'm really sensitive to this because we live in a society where people are very quick to turn on the more prominent figure and side with the victim and believe the victim. But in this particular case, who truly is the victim here? Is it Mariah Mills, who is complaining about the fact that Zion Williamson isn't paying out $1 million per year to her anymore? Or is it Zion Williamson, who is still in his early 20s, which is totally a normal age to make mistakes, whether it's in the realm of women or in other aspects of your life, who is constantly being pestered by this woman who is 8 years older than him? I think accusing of Zion of such a thing, which barring some type of evidence, I am going to assume that it is untrue. And based upon the fact that she can't even look us in the eye when she is making these allegations, I believe it's untrue. Based upon the fact that she is not even able to fake cry properly, that she's doing as much as she possibly can to maintain relevance, I believe, in my personal opinion, and barring any other evidence that is brought to the table, that this accusation is untrue. Now again, I want to place an emphasis on barring any new evidence that is found. But I will say, if my opinion is correct, if my assumption is true, if she is lying about doing such a thing, then she is truly a horrific human being. Because if such allegations were to be taken seriously, if she just came out from the very beginning and made these allegations against Zion Williamson before we all knew she was that crazy, then it could have potentially landed Zion Williamson in a lot of hot water. It could have gone into a lot of trouble. And luckily, assuming that there isn't any further evidence, it seems like people aren't taking Mariah Mills seriously. But I think this whole situation is really messed up. You have a woman that is 31 years old preying on a man that is 23 years old just because he signed a $200 million contract and he might be too young to know how to handle that situation. Should Zion Williamson maybe take a lesson from this and try to make better decisions with the women he chooses to surround himself with? Yes, most definitely. I do believe athletes should get some sort of hoology course and maybe even cite this as an example of what happens when you mess with the wrong woman and the types of predatory women that are out there. I hope that this is my final video on this topic. Again, this was a huge request from my subscribers and I read all of your comments. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below about all this. Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike and I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.